Hey guys, welcome to my living room, also doubling up as my studio nowadays. Today I wanted to make a video on how I made for you, so let's jump in. So let's begin with the intro. The intro is basically just a guitar that I recorded in a separate session to save some CPU, and it sounds like this. On top of that, I have this vocal sample to give some atmosphere. Together, they sound like this. And that's the intro. Despite the wall in my head, I said hello to you. The first breakdown. It's still the guitar playing, but I add elements along the way leading up to the build-up. The first thing that I introduce under the guitar is this pad synth. Very low down. Some reverb, compression, EQ, nothing fancy. Then I add this bottom piano. Then on top of this, I add another guitar. Sounds like this. And this piano. Also, on top of this, I have this vocal chop loop. That it's basically a vocal chop that I found. I've looped it up and slapped a lot of reverb and EQ'd it. Together, everything sounds like this. Under all of this, I have a bass guitar that sounds like this. Also recorded in a separate session. And that is the breakdown. So here in the build-up, I introduce all of the drop elements and I keep the guitar going. But the main parts are the drums, the clap and the live drums that sound like this. And then live drums. And that's pretty much it. Nothing really fancy going on here. I'll show you all of the synths in the drop right now. So here in the drop, let's get right into it. We have some drums and they all sound like this. So here there are a few things going on at the same time. We have the kick. This is split up into 3 or 4 parts. 4 parts. I have the sub kick. I have the middle part. And then I have the top kick. I also add a 4th kick with a lot of reverb on it just to accentuate and give the first kick in the drop some punch. On top of this, we have all the hi-hats and percussion loops. Nothing fancy. And then we have this that gives the track the groove. Then we have the clap. or clap snare, as some of you have pointed out. It sounds like this. So let's break this down. First, there's this clap going on. Then we have a few snares. This is the bottom part, the middle and top part, the cowbell, and then this percussion thing, which is tuned in the same key of the track that hits on every other. Everything sounds like this. So now let's move on to the bass. The bass sounds like this. This is made up out of two parts. I have a sub bass, which is basically just a sine wave in massive that I have compressed, distorted, and EQ'd. On top of that, I have this synth bass, which gives the whole bass some more character. And on top of that, we have the drop leads. First off, we have the chord package, which is basically two silent patches, one saw and one square. Nothing really special, plays the chords of the track, some EQ and some reverb compression just to press everything together. Then on top of this, we have the leads, which is made up out of 4 parts. The first part is this saw. Then we have this square. Behind all of this, we have the vocal chop. And then we have the white noise. On top of this, we have 2 more super saws. They sound like this. So this was basically the drop. Let's move on to the second breakdown. Despite the words that I say, they never move. So here in the second breakdown, there's only a few small things that are new and that aren't in the first breakdown. The first thing is the kick, which is basically just the bottom kick that I showed you before from the drop that runs into the second breakdown. I've added a tambourine that sounds like this. Then I've added some strings to this. And everything sounds like this. Also, I forgot to show you the snaps from the first breakdown. They sound like this. Pretty basic, single sample, some EQ, some reverb, and a stereo enhancer to push it to the sides to leave place for the vocal that I'm going to show you in a minute. The second build-up is pretty much the same, so let's just jump into the second drop. So the second drop, the elements are pretty much the same. The only thing that really changes is the melody, and this is where the super saws that I showed you from the first drop play a more important role. So the leads change to this melody. And as you may remember, the super saws were doing that. I've changed them around a bit and they sound like this now. So together with the leads. That's pretty much what I changed with the second drop. Not much else that I have tweaked or changed. So let's move on to the outro. So the outro is pretty much the same as the intro and first part of the first breakdown. So it's the pad, the guitar, and the low piano. That's pretty much it for the instrumental. Let's jump on to the vocals.
I used to be in love with heartbreak, but now I need drugs to ease the pain.
So I sent an early version of this instrumental to Park Avenue, and he sent me these awesome vocals. There are a few parts to this vocal, and I'm about to show you all of them. So let's start with the lead vocal. It sounds like this.
Despite the war in my head, I said hello to you.
And I put a bit of processing on this, some EQ, a gate, de-esser, just to dampen all of the sharp S's. Some reverb, EQ, more EQ, and some more compression. They go to a reverb and a delay, which sound like this.
Despite the war in my head, I said hello to you.
Under all of this, I duplicated the lead vocal and I run it through a vocoder, which is fed by a Sylenth that plays the chords, a simple saw wave. It sounds like this. And I have a dub track, which is basically this.
Despite the war in my head, I said hello to you.
Panned.
Didn't notice my eyes.
And then in stereo.
They were chasing yours.
So I've done this to keep the vocal a bit more interesting, so there are new parts introduced all of the time. The vocal loop that runs through the track sounds like this. I basically just cut out the words "for you," put some distortion on it, some EQ compression, and a lot of reverb on it. Yeah, that's pretty much it for this track. If you want me to specify anything special in the track, please leave it in the comments. If you have any other suggestions of tracks that you want me to do, please leave that in the comments as well. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, like, click, share, do whatever you want. But until next time, I'll see you later.
Hey guys, Rich Edwards here. I cracked the password.
I suggest you go follow that. Will you keep trying to produce in different genres? I don't know. Hopefully, yes.